it's Darla. Today I'm going to show you how to make this top. So let's get started. Alright, so what we do with this sweater is we start at the top, the neckline, and what you do is you make a chain. Mine is a little wide because I like it like that. I don't want it too close to my neck. So you can make yours a smaller chain so it gets closer to your neck. And then we're going to work our way down. We're going to do some increases up here. And then you may see this looks a little different. It's a little wide and then it goes narrow. Even though I did the number of stitches the same as I did in the green one, it seemed to be wider here. So once I got past my girls, I took it in every 10th and 11th stitch, I believe. I did double crochet decrease for about 5 rows or so, and then it came down, and then I finished off the bottom. I just went straight down once I did my decreases. I don't show that in the video. I wasn't able to record at that time. So but this is the one here, and then you saw the green one in the pictures. For this tutorial I used Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek low pill fiber. This is 100% acrylic, low pill acrylic. It's a medium 4. The colorway is teal blue. There's 232 yards in here, and I used just over 2 balls, and I used a 6mm hook. And then I also used this color. This is the color Ivory, and it's the same yarn as this one, just in ivory. And for this color I also used a 6mm. So I used a 6mm hook for all the stitches in this sweater, which are there's shell stitches and there's double crochet stitches. And then the green sweater, the green version of this, I will post pictures of the yarn that I used. And I actually color controlled that one, so I used 5 balls, or pulled apart 5 balls, but I didn't use all the yarn that was in the 5 balls. So for this project, you just need to have maybe 500 or 600 yards if you're making it a medium. Okay, so I'm making a chain of 78, which is a multiple of 3. I'll meet you at the end of the chain. And then you're going to lay your chain down in front of you, make sure it's not twisted. And then you'll put your hook through that first chain and then do a slip stitch to pull both ends of your chain together like that. And then you're going to chain 1, and in that very same chain we're going to make a double crochet. And then we're going to make a double crochet in every chain all the way to the end of your chain. So if you chain 78, you should still have 78 by the end of your chain. You'll have 78 double crochets. And this is row 1. All right, when you get to the end of your row 1, you're going to slip stitch into that first double crochet that you did. and then chain 1. All right, so now for row 2, we're going to do some increases. Right in that very first stitch where you chained 1, you're going to put a double crochet. And then you're going to put 1 double crochet in the next 4 stitches. So that'll be a total of 5 double crochets. 3, 4, and then 5. Okay, so 1 double crochet in the first 5 stitches. And the next stitch you're going to put 2 double crochets. And then you're going to put 1 double crochet in the next 5 stitches. See some white feet? We got a photo bomber here. Hey, Huggles. All right, so that was 4, and then the 5th one. All right, so 1 double crochet in the 5 stitches, and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch. And that's how we're going to do it for this round till we get to the end of this round. All right. Okay, 1 double crochet in the first 5 stitches, and then 2 double crochets in the next. Hello, my pretty girl. I'll meet you at the end of this round. Now I'm coming to the end of row 2. So I'm going to put my 5 double crochets in. I just put 2 double crochets in that 1 stitch there. So then I'm going to put 1 in the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Now I have 1 left here. Normally I would put 2 in there, but I need this row and all rows to be divisible by 3. So I am only going to put 1 in that one. And then that gives me a count for this row of 90 stitches, which is divisible by 3. Because we need the next row to be able to work into this row. Okay, you'll see in a second. So let's just put a slip stitch. I'm going to change colors here. Sometimes I like to put a slip knot when I change colors. Usually I do. Sometimes I don't. All right. And then I'm going to tie these 2 together. All right, then I'm going to chain 1, and in that very first stitch, I'm going to make a single crochet, a half double, and then a double crochet. And then we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, go to the next one, single crochet, half double, and then a double, all in the same stitch. Okay, skip 2, go in the next one, single crochet, a half double, double crochet. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know if I went a little close. Okay, skip 2, go in the next one with a single crochet, a half double, and then a double. And that's how we're going to do this round. So this is round 3, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. Now, when we get to the end of row 3, we should have 2 stitches left. 1, 2. We're going to skip those, and then we're going to go up into this one with a slip stitch. And then we're going to move to this next one. And we're going to change color. And go back to the blue. We're gonna slip stitch that through there. I'm going to cut off this ivory color, and then I'm going to tie these 2 together and sew them in later. And then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do increases again on this row. So in the very first stitch here, we're going to put a double crochet, and then we're going to put double crochets into the next 5. So 1 double crochet in the first 6 stitches. Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the next one, we're going to put 2 double crochets. And that's how we're going to do this round. Put 2 in the same spot. Okay, so 1 double crochet in the next 6 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, double check. That's 6. And then we're going to put 2 double crochets in the next stitch. 2 double crochets, and then we're going to continue doing that for this round. Now what you can do to make sure you're going to end up with a multiple of 3 is you can mark down each time you put 2 double crochets into a stitch. So I've done that twice, and then my last row was 90 stitches. So I want to make sure that this row is multiples of 3 as well. So you would take 90 plus 1 of each one you've put an increase in. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of this row. Okay, I'm coming near the end of row 4. And I have 6 stitches left. I just did my 2 double crochets in that stitch. So I have 6 stitches left here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So I can't put 2 double crochets in the same spot because I don't have any more stitches to do or to go into. All right, so I have increased 12 times. So now this row here has 112 stitches, which is divisible by 3, which is what we wanted. All right, so now we're going to slip stitch in the top of this one, and then we're going to change colors. Pull that through. I'm going to cut the blue. Okay, now we're going to chain 1. And then we're going to start our shells again. That same stitch, put a single crochet, half double, and a double. And then we're going to skip 2 stitches, go in the next one with a single crochet, half double, and a double crochet. So this will be our shell row. And just continue doing that like you did in this row here. And I'll meet you at the end of this row. Now we're at the end of row 5. We have 2 stitches left. We're going to slip stitch into this first stitch here. And then slip stitch into the next one. And this is where we're going to change colors. All right, so now this will be an increase row. And this is row 6. Then you chain 1. All right, now in this row 6, we're going to do 1 double crochet in 7 stitches, and then we're going to put 2 double crochets into the 8th. Okay, so okay, 1, 2. So every second row, every blue row that I'm doing has an increase in it. So we're going to do 7 double crochets, 1 in each of the 7. So that's 5, 6, 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the next one we'll put 2 double crochets, and that's how we're going to do this round. And then make sure you have stitches, enough stitches that you have that they're divisible by 3, because your next row, the shell row, depends on that. So you may have to do a little bit of adjusting, maybe not. All right, so continue on with that, and I'll meet you at the next row. All right, now I've completed row 6. You see here, I did my increase where I put 2 double crochets in that stitch, And then I only had 5 stitches left in this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't have any room to do another increase, and I don't need to do another increase. So then we're going to slip stitch into the top of this first stitch here, and then we're going to go on to do our shell row. So I have a total number of 114 stitches in this row, which is divisible by 3. Okay, so my chain was a chain of 78, which is a multiple of 3. Then the first row I put 78 double crochets in it. Row 2 is an increase row, 5 double crochets in 1 in each of 5 stitches, and then 2 double crochets in the next. And then go around the row like that, and then you'll have 90 if you're making it my size. And then row 3 are the shells. Row 4 is 1 double crochet in each of the first 6 stitches, and then 2 double crochets in the 7th, and go around like that. Row 5 are shells. Now row 4 was 102 stitches is what you should have. Multiple of 3, so whatever's divisible by 3, that's what you need to have. Row 6 is 7 double crochets and then 2 in the next stitch for a total of 114. The next row is shells, which is row 7. Row 8, you do 8 double crochets, 1 in each stitch, and then in the 9th put 2 double crochets in that one for a total of 126. Next row is shells, which is row 9. Row 10 is 9 double crochets, 1 in each of 9 stitches, and the next stitch you'll put 2 double crochets in there, doing that all the way around for a total of 138. And then the next row, row 11, is shells. Row 12, you would do 10 double crochets and then put 2 double crochets in the next stitch for a total of 150. Row 13 would be your shells. Row 14 would be 11 double crochets and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch for a total of 162. And then row 15 is the next row I'm going to be showing you how to make. All right, so this is how it fits on me. I made a wider neck. You can certainly make the neck any size you want with your starting chain, as long as it's in multiples of 3. And but I am going to go around it as well, just to, you know, finish it off, make it look nice. All right, so I put this on to show you what I'm going to do next. I'm going to actually use stitch markers to pin the front and the back under my arm. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on the table the measuring and everything, or the counting, but we're going to do double crochets around here. We're going to make a chain under the arm, connect it on the other side, double crochet back, and I will show you that. You can also lay this down on top of a sweater and just measure it like that on one of your sweaters that fits you well if you're making this for yourself. So yeah, I hope that you understood this. I hope I explained it properly. So I'm going to show you now how to figure all that out. I can't really pin it and hold the camera at the same time. So I'll show you at the table my counts and everything. Okay, thanks. Now on to row 15. This is where we're going to put the armholes. Take your piece and fold it in half. Make sure your back seam is around the middle of it. And then what I've done here is I've counted 26 stitches and then put my stitch marker in on both sides for my arms to go through. Now this seems small, right? what we're going to do is we're going to crochet around to the stitch marker, and then we're going to make a chain. My chain's going to be 15, and then I'm going to jump over and attach it on the other side. So the armhole is not going to be this tiny. That chain is going to make it bigger. Okay, and this is just going to be double crochets, no increases in this row. Okay, so what you can do is where you left off, you can just start crocheting your double crochets around. Make a chain. My chain, like I said, was going to be 15. Yours may be bigger, maybe smaller, whatever's going to fit you, right? Okay, so let's do this. So 1 double crochet in each stitch around. And, oops, sorry, out of camera view. And then when we get to where we're going to make the chain, I will meet you there. Now I've crocheted up to where I have the stitch marker. So I'm going to make a double crochet right into that stitch as well. And then I'm going to chain 15. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm going to turn my item over, and then I'm going to make a double crochet right into where I have this stitch marker on the other side. And this is going to attach my chain there. Okay, easier said than done. Oh, it's just that I have this camera in front of my face. I'm just a little on a different angle than I'm normally on when I'm crocheting. Okay, so there, and then we continue on making double crochets all the way to the other side where you'll do another chain for under your arm. And so now let's take a look. Now this is the armhole. So that's much bigger, right? Okay, so I'm going to finish off this row. And then I'll meet you back at, I'll meet you at the next row. All right, now I'm at the end of row 15. So I'm just going to slip stitch into that first double crochet, chain 1, and then we're going to put double crochet, 1 double crochet in each stitch around this row. Until we get to the chain, and then I'll show you what to do there. Okay, just continue on with your double crochet, 1 in each stitch, till you get to the chain that you made. Now we're up to the chain. I've put my double crochet in the last double crochet there. And now here's our chain. So we're just going to put a double crochet in each of the chains. As we go along. So I chained at 15, so I'll be making 15 double crochets all together along this chain. I'll be back when I'm at the end of the chain. All right, so I have my 15 double crochets in my chain, and then I'm just going to continue putting double crochets all around this row. And you keep doing the same thing to the end of this row. And this is row number 16. And row number 16 through 37, you're going to put one double crochet in each double crochet around, and you're just going to keep working around and around till you make it as long as you want to make it, until you reach the shell rows. The first shell row will start at row 38. So you're going to do row 16 up until and including row 37 with double crochets, just going around and around and around. Row 38 will be the start of the shell stitches where you change your color. So row 37, make sure it's a count of 3. If you have to do any adjusting, that would be the time to adjust to make sure you have your round 37 divisible by 3. All right, so I will meet you at round 38. But before I do that, may I take this opportunity to ask you to please subscribe to my channel. I do crochet tutorials. I do yarn hauls. I've done some yarn reviews. I'm going to be doing more soon. And if you like the yarny goodness, the crochet goodness, and maybe a few other craft items thrown in there, be sure to keep watching and commenting and liking, subscribing. I don't mind asking you to watch the videos all the way through and to let the ads run all the way through, because it really does help us content creators, and that we do get a little bit of money for that. So that helps us buy more yarn. That helps us with our time we spend doing our videos, and we try to bring you content that you appreciate, whatever you want to see on this channel to do with crochet and yarn. Let me know down below in the comments. I would really, really appreciate that. And thank you so much, and I'll see you in a little bit. Now here we are at the bottom of the sweater. Once you get your 22 rows of double crochets done, in your 22nd row, you want to make sure it is multiple by 3. Mine was actually 1 stitch short. So, if you made a boo-boo somewhere along, that's okay. I mean, it happens, right? And you can correct it. So I added another double crochet in this row. So the row was divisible by 3, so I could work my shells in. So that's what I've done. So working the shells in is the same as we did at the top. So I don't think I have to show you that. But what I also did was I made shells for the next row instead of doing double crochets in between. And then shell, shell, shell. And then I'm going to finish off with the dark blue yarn for the shells at the bottom. And then you don't need to put a border on, because that's going to be your border. So the next thing I did was I went to the top where we first started. This is the neckline. And what I've done here is I've just made shells in it around the neckline. And what I did was I didn't go into the chain to do the shells. I went right deep into the double crochets. So that's why there's spaces like that. And I just thought that was a kind of a neat idea. So, you could do it like that. You could do single crochets, half double, whatever you want for a border around the neckline. And then I'm going to work on the sleeve with you in this part of the video. So what I did here was I just made a little cap sleeve. I just went around the double crochets with single crochets. Make sure they're divisible by 3. So what I did was I put 45 single crochets around, and then I've done 2 rows of the shell stitch. And that's it for that sleeve. And so what I had to do was, I think I had to add 1 extra single crochet to make it the row divisible by 3. So it's no big deal. You know, sometimes you have to do a little bit of adjusting as you go along, and that's perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. All right, so I'm going to attach my yarn and I'll be right back. So here what I've done is I've stuck my crochet hook through the very edge, put a slip knot on the hook. I like to do that. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And then chain 1. And then we're going to put a single crochet starting with this very first stitch all the way around. Make sure you count them. So that's 2, 3, and this is just to get the count right, so it's divisible by 3, because you need that in order to do the shell stitch. So single crochets, I did 45 on the other sleeve, so I'm going to make sure I do 45 on this sleeve as well. It's a little uncomfortable when your sleeves are different sizes and they wrap around each arm differently, and then it's just, I find it incredibly uncomfortable. Okay, so I'm just going to finish with those and I'll be right back. All right, so I have my 45 single crochets, which is interesting because it worked out to exactly 45 and the other sleeve worked out to 44, and I had to put an extra 1 in. So all right, so then I'm just going to slip stitch into this top of this first single crochet. I'm going to chain 1, and then right in that very spot we're going to do a shell. So that was single crochet, half double, and then a double, just like we did before for the shells. And then we skip 2, 1, 2, go in the next stitch, single crochet, half double, double. Then we're going to go all the way around, and then we're going to do another row. So I'll meet you at the end of this row. Now at the end of this row, first shell row, I slip stitched into the first stitch here, and then see this space here, and this one and this one. This is the one I'm going to go into here with another slip stitch, a chain 1, and then go right back in there with a single crochet, half double, and a double. And that's just that I want, sorry about that, I want the shells to line up on top of each other, kind of. And then just continue that for this row, and wow, sew in the ends and you'll be done. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And please don't forget to subscribe for more tutorials and more yarny goodness. Thank you.